So, your first year with Brady. What can I say? Let's say this. Brady Trucking in the oil field is one of is the second best company that I'd ever worked for in an energy sector, so to speak. And I say the second because the first one I was with, I can promise you that if the company wouldn't have sold and the owners wouldn't have passed away, they were like fathers to me, second and third fathers to me. I mean, they treated me like the son that neither one of them had ever had. I would still be with them. I would have never left North Dakota. I'd still be up there working for them. When I found Brady, that was as close to Joey and the Schaefer company that I could find. Now, when I say Schaefer, I'm not talking about Creek Schaefer, the over-the-road guys. This is a whole different company. So, your first year, especially if you've never done it, if you've never worked in the oil field, never pulled a pneumatic or anything like that, your first year is going to be tough. But I did a lot of research before I went to Brady, and I promise that as far as consistency and pay and the way I was treated goes, it really was a top tier level 1 company, period. So I still stay in contact with a lot of the guys that are still working there, from some management all the way down to just a driver, a couple of the mechanics there in Odessa. I still call and talk to Jessica every now and then, who is the operations manager or supervisor, whatever it is, over in Carlsbad. I still call and talk to some of the ladies in dispatch just to see how things are going for them. And this is a consistent thing that I've been hearing over the last 3 months, is they're losing drivers. And I kept asking myself why. Well, I just happened, a couple of the guys that I still talk to had left, and I found out they left, so I got a hold of them to find out why they'd left. And their big thing was work. They're not busy, so they went to this other company. And the same thing from everyone I've talked to comes out the same way. They promised me more money, more loads, more home time. And they've been over there for a couple months. They haven't been home. They're not making more money, and they're sitting more than they were with Brady. Guys, the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. When I was working up north, before I came to Brady, I'll admit there were times that we got slow, and I was looking at other companies, and I just kept telling myself, no, I'm going to stick it out, no, I'm going to stick it out. And it worked out great for me. Now, I'm sure some of you are watching this video and going, well, you don't even work for Brady anymore. And you're right, I don't. I do not work for Brady any longer. But that was not a grass is greener on the other side of the fence situation. I'll explain briefly. I own some trucks. I told Brady when I started, I'd give him a year. If I hadn't moved out of a truck, then I was going to leave. I feel like to this day that I just became too much of an asset in a truck, and that moving me out of the truck was going to be a disadvantage for them, which meant it was a disadvantage for me. I take my job as a trainer and as someone that a lot of new drivers would look up to for information, or the way I conducted myself and my stance on professionalism and the way we should act outside the truck. That I was just too much of an asset in the truck for Brady, and I was not. With my oil field experience and my management experience, I was not going to stay in a truck feeling like I knew I was never going to get promoted out of that truck, so I left. Not because of the money, not because they treated me bad, not because of anything else other than that. Brady was a good company, and they were good to me, and I'll really never say a bad word about them. I can't. They treated me right. So, for you guys that are right now looking at going to the oil field, and you're looking at Brady, or you're working for Brady now and you're thinking about leaving, let me explain something. Brady is a top level carrier, okay? They don't just take anything. They want to get the pay that they should be getting, and that's not just for Brady, but for their drivers. They want to keep you running, but you have to be willing as a driver to go where the work is. That's the big thing with the oil and gas industry, is the work moves. It's not always going to be busy in West Texas. It's not always going to be busy in North Dakota. It's not always going to be busy in Wyoming. You may have to be willing to say, hey, things are slow all over. How's the over-the-road division look? And go work for them in an over-the-road capacity until things pick back up. The problem has always been with oil and gas is consistency. The up and down, the roller coaster ride of pay. One week you make one paycheck you're making $6,000, the next paycheck you're making $2,000. That is the oil and gas industry. It's been like that for 100 years. It's always going to be like that. It ain't never going to change. And about every 3.5 years this happens. Everything across the board will slow down, and it's because of elections. Oil and gas companies do not want to drill holes and pay a bunch of money when oil prices are down. And about every 3.5 years, oil prices are going to go down. They're going to fluctuate. And that's what we're seeing right now. It happens. But to jump ship and go over to this other company because they're saying that we're staying busy and this, that, and the other, well, you know what? You're right. They may be staying busy. But let's take a look at that. Why are they staying busy? Why are they getting all this work? I can promise you, it's because they're doing it so much cheaper. So if you're getting paid 25% and hauling for Brady, they're getting $1,000 a load, so you're making $250 a load, but you're not really, you're getting 10 loads a week. But this company over here is saying, hey, we can get you 20 loads a week, and you go over there and they're paying you 25%, but they're only charging $400 a load. Is it really better? You're working twice as hard, and you're still not making as much as you were at Brady. Guys, the grass is not always greener on the other side. You may go over there and, we got top-notch equipment. Yeah, they do. That they've got drivers that's been with them 10 years driving, and you're getting some old junk piece of crap Freightliner or International that doesn't run half the time. You're doing more sitting, getting things fixed than you are working. At least with Brady, that was one thing that if you had a problem with the truck, you take it in. If they couldn't get it fixed right away, they could get you in another truck. If they could get it fixed right away, they got it fixed. So, I guess where I'm going with this, guys, is sometimes it is better to ride out the storm than it is to jump on a bigger ship. Don't think for a minute that any of these companies, including Brady, are in the oil fields to do anything but make money. But when you have companies cutting the rates to a point where they're just barely breaking even after they pay their drivers, you're going to have unsafe conditions. You're going to have lack of consistency. Brady has work all over the U.S. Oil field, over the road. Right now, according to the guys that I've talked to and the people I know that are still there, everything is consistently running, consistently over the road. So if you're sitting there right now thinking, well, I need to leave here and go do this, I'm only making, with the way things are going, I'm only going to make $60,000 this year, and I've done half of that sitting. Well, first of all, if you're making $60,000 a year and you did most of it while you were sitting around, you only really worked half the year, I don't understand what the problem is. That's a pretty good paycheck for really not working. But if you got to be moving, look at other options inside the company before you jump ship. Again, I can promise you this. If I didn't have my own trucks, if I didn't have the management experience I had, or if I would have felt like I was eventually going to move up out of that truck, I would still be in West Texas working for Brady Trucking. And there are days that I've talked to my wife and said, I'm thinking about going back. But then I just think about it, it's like, no, I'm just going to be back in a truck. Now, obviously, I'm sitting in a truck, but this is not a Brady truck. This is not some other company's truck. This is mine. This is something that I own. It's something that I've been doing for a long time. And I don't like and never have leasing my trucks on with other companies. That's why, I don't do it. I have smarter people than me that run my company for me, and that's every now and then I get in one of mine and I go drive my truck and they leave me alone, and it is what it is. But guys, gals, your first year in the oil field is always going to be the hardest. There's a big adjustment period, and everyone says, well, I've been driving a truck for 20 years and this, that, and the other. Yeah, but have you driven a truck in the oil field for 20 years? Well, no, it was over the road. Big damn difference. There's an adjustment period coming from over the road to the oil field, just like it is going from never driving a truck to driving a truck. There's a huge adjustment period for that. Some people can do it. This job's not for everybody. Some people can't. But if all you're going to do is come out and never give one company a solid year and give it all you got, you're never, especially in the oil field, never going to make the money you think you should be making. So guys, before you jump ship, really sit down and look at the pros and cons to the company you're working with and where you're going. And don't just go off what a recruiter or one of their damn drivers trying to recruit you is telling you. You can ask anybody in recruiting. You can go back and look at all my videos I've ever done for Brady. I never wanted the recruiting bonus. And I've got more than enough guys still working at Brady that will tell you that I'm the one that got them to go to Brady. They're glad I got them to go to Brady, and I never got a penny for doing it. I do not feel like if you're out recruiting a driver because you're going to get a recruiting bonus, that you're going to be 100% honest with them. You're going to tell them what they need to hear so that you get your bonus, and that's bull crap. As a driver, you're lying to another driver, and that's BS. That's just bad damn business, and if you're doing it, you're worthless. Okay? Just shut up, because you shouldn't be doing that. So you can ask any of the recruiters. You can go back and look at my videos. I do not want a recruiting bonus. I'm not getting paid to do these videos. Even now, not working for Brady, I do videos for Brady, and not at their request. I do them because Brady, to me, was a good company. They treated me right. And I feel like anyone looking to go into the oil and gas industry, driving a truck, or driving over the road, pulling a pneumatic trailer, Brady is the way to go. So, if you have any questions, please leave a comment, and I will get back to you just as fast as I can. You can get, I swear to you, everybody that's ever left a comment and asked me a question, I've gotten it back with them pretty quick. I'm not on here every day, but I check it very often. There's guys on here that'll leave comments if you would. I mean, they'll tell you. He's called and said, hey, give me give me an email, let me give you my email and the phone number, whatever. I will call you and talk to you over the phone. There was one guy, he was actually in the Dallas area, and I happened to be at home, and I said, why don't we meet for lunch? And he said, huh? I said, I live just north of Dallas. How about we meet for lunch? And I literally drove to the south side of, Arlington, down by 20, and bought lunch, took him to a steakhouse, and answered every question he had. Look at the way the company's going to treat you over the year, not just the BS someone's spewing to you because they want the recruiting bonus or they need to fill a truck or something like that. And if you ever feel like, especially with Brady, that you're being BS'd, hit me up. Jason up in recruiting, Jason and all the ladies, everyone in recruiting, all the dispatchers, and I'll pretty much guarantee you all the management's going to tell you that I don't pull punches for anybody. If you're working for them and BSing them, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that they're BSing you. So guys, leave a comment. If you got questions, please ask. Like and share the video, please. I'm trying to get my subscribers up so I can go back to doing live broadcast. But other than that, guys, be safe out there. Any questions, please get with me, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Have a good one.